Good evening. Welcome to another super special big Sunday American Civil War stream. Oh, excuse me. This is a Belt Buckles and Boots 26th North Carolina stream. So welcome all. Hello to a few of you in the chat already. David, hello, welcome. Thomas, Blake, hello, welcome in. Come on in. So yes, welcome to another stream. Everyone watching this live, hello. I've already said hello to you. Everyone wants back on YouTube, hello. Thank you very much. Welcome. So yeah, we're carrying on our 26th North Carolina. These are lovely miniatures by Rebellion Miniatures, which have been sent to me, which I massively appreciate. So yeah, that's where we're at with it. It's a little bit sticky up here, a little bit hot, but okay. How's everyone doing as well? Hope everyone's had a good week or so, and since we last met. And let me know what you're working on, hobby-wise. Obviously, the usual Facebook and YouTube community. If you want to share any photos, please do. A lot of you are doing that already, but yeah, please do share it, and we tend to have a look through it at the end of the stream. So yeah, are you both well? Saluting like artillerymen. Just trying to... That's the American salute, isn't it? That's why I was doing it, rather than... But hello, yeah. Thomas, you're doing well. Working on some Dead Man's Hand cavalry, very nice. Prepping to jump back into some bolt action. I'm going to take that off because I literally just showered and I'm already sweating a bit. What are you working on bolt action, Thomas? I've got obviously my memory's rubbish. I'm trying to remember back who out of you was sharing some 15mm World War II stuff. I can't remember now. It was a while ago, but yeah. Alex, hello, welcome in. Tim, hello, welcome in. Hello, Tim. Everyone's here. Right. We had quite a long chat last time, and I didn't do a lot of painting, so I might try be wary of that. Do a bit more painting. But yeah, no, I've had a good weekend so far. Still working on the baby nursery, which is coming along nicely. And I've got a really bad headache, so I'll deal with that. So I think it's just I've not drank a lot today, maybe. So we'll work on that, shall we? Thomas, you're doing some US and German paratroopers for D-Day. Nice. I really want to do some more World War II stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I've got some Panzer Grenadiers in 15mm. I've got some American paratroopers and American Army in 15mm as well. So, blimey, I'm yawning already. It's not a good start. But I really want to do some winter Americans, some like sort of maybe paratroopers, do Bastogne or something like that. I know 3D printing. I think March to Hell or something like that. I'll have to give it a Google, but they're a company and they do some real nice 15mm sculpts, which I'd be looking at. But that's on the long list of things that I don't need to be doing right now, as we've got a lot of American Civil War stuff to do. Blake's planning some American Revolutionary War, very nice. I'd be very interested in doing some, I've said this before, French-Indian War, which is a little bit earlier. I'd be interested in doing that. Right, I'm gonna let's just jump down here, shall we? Let's do this bit. Can I zoom? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I thought that was the zoom. It's not. Right, let's get models. I should have shared it on the Facebook, and I've not, but the wonderful chaps over at Rebellion Miniatures have some Confederate firing line sculpts coming out soon. I've not actually messaged Matt about it. I've just seen it on their social media, So I've not actually messaged Matt to see what the deal is, but that could be quite interesting. That could be quite nice. Obviously, I'll keep you posted when I know anything. But question comes from David. Tim, Napoleonic Wargamer is obsessed with Assyrian chariots. What is your Assyrian chariot? Is it question time? Is that what you meant? Question Tim. Obviously, we've got a Tim in the chat, so you could be asking Tim in the chat, David. Thomas says, seen and shared them on Saddle and Saber Campaigner page. Yeah, they look nice, don't they, Thomas? The head. Well, I've only seen the heads. I've not seen the sculpts. I don't know whether I've missed that sculpts from the bodies or anything, but I've seen the heads, which look nice. I'll be up for some firing line. Do a firing line regiment. Who knows? I tell you what, David. I'm gonna assume you ripped question time, and you're not questioning Tim. So, Napoleonic Wargamer is obsessed with Assyrian chariots. So, is your question, what is my obsession? Would that be it? Yeah, I'm going with that one, Tim. And what am I obsessed with? I don't really know. I don't know. Do I have an obsession? I feel like the things I obsess about more with in this hobby is something I've not collected, really. So, yeah, I was a little bit obsessed with Republican Romans for a long time. I just think they look really cool. I really like the Victrix box sets. I'm really obsessed with sort of Skaven from Warhammer Fantasy. I'd love to do an army for them. I bound about so much. I don't think I have. I don't think I have an obsession because it changes so much. Like my current obsession is with Trent Affair, so sort of British 1860s. I've started kind of pulling data together to, trying to pull data to sort of draft scenarios. So that's maybe my most current obsession. Also, I'm really keen to look at getting some miniatures sculpted for the Trent Affair, for sort of like 1860s British. That's my main focus obsession maybe at the moment. Again, I tend to sort of hyperfixate on things and then move on. You know, I'll give them a couple of months and then move on. So, also like another fixation at the moment is dismounted cavalry for some Meg Civil War. So, I'm looking at doing Buford's clans. I've sort of said that before. So, I don't really know. I think my a rat fetish and stereotypical butterfly. Yeah, exactly, David. Unfortunately, I don't hang around him. I think you could argue American Civil War is probably just always on the back burner. And I go through phases where I'll just sort of again fixate into it. Like I really enjoy some of the battles and stuff, the campaigns. So I kind of come back to that. But maybe it's just because I know it more than other, like I know it better than Napoleonics and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. What would be my I don't know. The thought of playing games is what I'm obsessed with. I just don't ever do it. So yeah, that's my answer. My answer is no answer. I don't know. Mine would be anything that Tim says. Mine would be anything that helps tell a good story on a battlefield, which is my biggest squirrel. Yeah, I guess I'd like the idea of just sort of big battles. Big battles. I like the idea of that with sort of fantasy games having bigger games and stuff. I'm not so bothered about skirmish games. So yeah, I don't know. a good question. It's a good question. I can't answer it. I just don't know. But yeah, good question. If anyone else wants to have a think about what their obsession is, I'll tell you what. Would like historical formations be an obsession? Could I argue that? I like getting into the nitty gritty of regiments, brigades, like brigade commanders, divisions, and stuff like that. Like creating these. The thought of like, I don't know, thought of like jumping onto a table and just putting Confederate regiment here on the table, calling them Confederate Regiment Number 1. That would stress me out. I'd like to be able to go, this is the 22nd Georgia, or something like that. Maybe that could be my obsession. I really enjoy that element to it of narrative spin on it, you know, having actual commanders, having the regiments. So yeah, maybe that. Thomas says, I am the opposite. I like a good skirmish game that I can tell a good story with. Yeah, I like the idea of these bigger games where, because again, I don't know, like maybe with the American Civil War, a lot of the battles aren't like, they're not really down to, I don't know how to say this. It's almost not like skirmish level. It's at these larger maneuvers, larger engagements where, and like again with the American Civil War, you get so many big names out there. You know, instead of like certain wars, you might be like, okay, this regiment was really famous, which you do have in the American Civil War. I feel like brigades are that, where actually you'd have a brigade commander or divisional commander. So the idea of having like 3 or 4 of these well-known commanders on the table or something like that, I think that's kind of enjoyment for me. I don't know. Yeah, the thought of idea of like, oh, I'm gonna send Longstreet's brigade up the table or something like that, you know, I think that's cool. Rather than, like, said, the Confederates are moving up the table. I'd like to be like, oh, Archer's brigade's gonna go do this, and yeah, send the so and so regiment there. So David, it used to be high octane passing Elven Blood Bowl team, but now GW needs our receiving core. Sorry. I never got into Blood Bowl, David. I have a Blood Bowl team sat in a box somewhere, but never played it. So my local games club, Bristol Independent Gaming, they've got quite a large Blood Bowl team, like Night and stuff. Quite often I see on their social media they share it about. It looks good. There's a lot of people playing it there. Alex agrees with Thomas because yeah, real units tend to be too big to play with on the table, so a skirmish size game would make more sense on a 6x4. That's fair. Blake, I'm way too obsessed with making my miniatures historically accurate. Yeah, I think that's half the fun for me, is trying to portray a historic element to it. I try not to get too bogged down in it, but yeah, I like the idea of trying to keep it historically accurate as I can. A bit like flags, making sure people, like, you've probably got the right flags on there and stuff like that. Uniforms, making sure they've got the right uniforms. If any historical unit had a certain type of uniform, just making sure I reflect that. Alex says, still finds it strange to see 24-man regiments or epics file closers and all that. Simply looks wrong to my eye. Yeah, I understand it does. That's why I feel like I might, you know, 10 mil, 15 mil could be a bit better, because you could just have a few more troops on there to bulk them out. But yeah, like when you have 24 figures representing a 200, 300 man unit, it can look a bit odd. David said, that's why I like the American Civil War and Napoleonics. Big battles, big generals. Exactly. I think Napoleonics absolutely, and the American Civil War absolutely. You just got these big personalities on the battlefield. And yeah. That's why I think it's cool. And these big generals make big decisions in battles as well. You know, in a skirmish, you might have a lieutenant or a captain like commanding 20, 30 men and send them to take a house or something like that. And there's still big decisions, but when you get like brigade divisional, you know, they're sending thousands of men to do decisions like Pickett's Charge, or Longstreet's Assault, like some people like to call it. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's interesting. 28mm does limit most people to a skirmish. Yeah, unless you're willing your imagination to take over a bit, and right, I'm going to do some painting, I reckon. So let's do. We're going to use a brown to do the tankards. We'll use a wooden tankard, canteen. Sorry, not a tankard, canteen. We're going to use Fire Drake Speed Painter. Speed Paint by Army Painter. Let's do that. I could probably paint the guns whilst I'm here, to be honest. But we won't. We'll keep it simple. Managed to bend my brush a bit. But yeah, I think like when you look at games as well by the Perrys, they often share photographs of their games, and admittedly they do larger regiments than 24-man quite often, so you've got more miniatures on the table. But yeah, that looks fantastic when they do that. That looks nice, the brown. I really like the what they've done here with Rebellion miniatures. It's just sort of expanding on the Perry's format, isn't it? Just making bodies. Even actually, these have separate heads, which Perry's don't. But yeah, just have the arms, which it means you can have the same body type, but change it up a bit with the heads and the arms. Just adds a bit more sort of a bit more options with your units. Blake, hey Matt, what type of primer do you use to prime your metal figures? So at the moment I'm using Anvil Colour Forge varnishes. That's what I'm using at the moment. I really like them. Again, to be honest, I'm only using white primer at the moment, so but yeah, I'm using Colour Forge primers. And yeah, I get on well with them. I like them. David says a sergeant and his mates attacking a pigsty versus Sue's salt. There we go. Assault on the Pratzen Heights. No contest for me. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. David, have that. I'd much rather a larger game. Realised I've not got a lot of water. We should buy. I might actually do the guns whilst I'm here because I've accidentally poured out too much brown. So whilst these are so. That's what I'm going to do with the straps for the canteens, I'm just going to go over it with a white layer and then probably just a Nuln Oil over the top. So yeah, let's get a bigger brush. Thomas, I do like big battles as well, but I feel like I prefer the ability to tell a meaningful story behind everyone and everything. One thing with 1v1 cav, 1-to-1 scale cav, it's big but manageable. 50 troopers is a nice size. Yeah, no, that's a fair argument. Again, that's a good size then for battles then, and you're getting it 1-to-1, so. Well, 100 as I've mounted a dismounted troopers. Yeah. But no, you raise a good point. At that sort of model count, yeah, you can have a full size company. You could still do something like that with sort of a rank and file game, but I don't know how they would. I don't know the tactics at a company level when it came to the Mag Civil War. So you could say have, yeah, like 4 or 5 understrength companies on a table. But then, yeah, I don't know how you could use that, like how the chain of command would work. Because I don't think they would be operating as individual companies unless they were sort of skirmishing. All right. This guy's not got a strap on his gun. It makes it a little bit easier. Trying to, when using these contrast paints, I'm just trying to keep it as neat as I can so I don't have to go over anything again, you know. So having the not going too much over the strap, for example, because the strap I'm leaving white, and it just means I can then, rather than having to go back in and pick out the white again, it's sort of ready for the next stage, which will just be a Nuln Oil wash, and that'll be it. There we go. David says, too much brown. I have an intense mate called Andy Brown. When he got too much, the cry would go out. Too much brown. Tom says, I mean, I have about 500 Union soldiers, so could do another 50 to have the Irish Brigade 1-to-1 scale at Gettysburg. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing that I don't know fully, but I think one of the largest regiments at Gettysburg was about 700 men. You know, well, I think the 20th Maine only had a couple of hundred, so yeah, if you start looking at depleted regiments, then yeah, it's not actually a lot of troops in there. I'm surprised the Irish Brigade had so many at Gettysburg, though. So no, I'd have assumed they would have been at the lower limit size. Yeah, every day's a school day. Feels weird painting Perry miniatures. I've painted so many of these rifled muskets, but on their own miniatures, so it's odd to have it on a different miniature. I know the miniatures are actually very similar to Perry's anyway, the way the sculpts are done, but still. Voila. Thomas says, sorry, David, but 1-to-1 scale means well over 1,000 Indian warriors and as many non-combatants. Aye, for Little Bighorn. Yeah. Very true. I don't know, Thomas might be up for the challenge. That's good. Thomas says, oh, hang on. So yeah, Thomas saying about 300 for the 20th main, the 63rd, 88th, and 69th had about 75 men across 3 regiments. Sorry, when you said the Irish Brigade, for some reason in my head I jumped to a regiment. So when you were like about 500 for a regiment, I thought, bloody hell, that's big. But yeah, sorry, that makes sense. 300 for the 20th main. Yeah, I thought they were sort of low 200s, but I mean, yeah, fair play. They needed it. I do like some of these the sculpts from Rebellion. The muskets are really good detail on them. The stock seems quite chunky to me, but the actual barrel and bayonet and stuff looks really cool. So Thomas says, I know, but I'm just doing the US Cav out in the West in honor of my grandfather and our many evenings spent watching old westerns where John Wayne and his cavalry saved the day. Oh, that's really nice, Thomas. David, yeah, just clarifying it was a little Bighorn he was on about. Good evening. Apologies for the delay, says Mark. Hello, good evening. Welcome in. Welcome in. No need to apologise. How are you, Mark, anyway? I hope you're well. Thomas says, oh yeah, just so happened to choose a company from Little Big Horn as it had the most famous Irish connection. Very nice. Be an interesting period to war game, sort of US Indian War. Don't know what you call it. Plains War? Don't know. For such a long time, I've wanted to do Native American sort of army. I say army, just painting models. That's why I've sort of been interested in the 7 years, not 7 years, French Indian War. I hope the loft isn't too warm. It is actually warm. It is actually warm. It's a bit better now, but it was very warm a little bit earlier. But the temperature sort of dropped. I've been up here. So I was up in the loft this morning on my computer, and then this afternoon I jumped on for a little bit. And yeah, it was warm. But we mustn't grumble. I think we got another hot one coming in the next week or so. So yeah, I don't know how much I'll be up here, but we'll see. As much as we can, hopefully. Tom says, I know it wasn't more than 300, around 240 maybe. Yes, for some reason in my head, Thomas, I was thinking around sort of 220 or something, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Just going off a gut feeling, I think. Again, was it the second main that they took on just before the battle? I don't know how many they took on. But... All right. I'm going to have to put some more water now. I should have done that before. Luckily, I have a big blob of water there. Alex says, so Custer is a hero again. Replying to David, who just said, so just watched an interesting podcast on Little Bighorn. It was busting myths and addressing misconceptions, and that's what Alex has said. That'd be quite a interesting podcast, then, David, because you always have the most sort of, yeah. I think there's probably a lot of misconceptions. Obviously, like I've always understood it as, you know, the Americans were foolish and went into a unwinnable situation, but I wonder. Graham, hello, welcome in. How are you? I hope you're well. Thomas says, Great Escape Games is releasing a Plastic Natives this year and Indian Wars rule set. Ooh, very nice. Davey says, strangely, it was on the Battle of Gettysburg podcast. They've done a few for the 150th century. 150th anniversary, sorry. Oh, nice. I'll have to find it. Um, Thomas says, I have a few books on the 7th and Little Bighorn, definitely an era I have a big interest in. Very nice. Yeah, it's not someone I'm aware of, but yeah, just I found it interesting here actually hearing Custer's name come up when I was learning about the American Civil War, because and then finding out he's actually quite a sort of a competent commander. Because again, of what history is painted of Custer came across as the guy who was a bit of an idiot, but clearly wasn't. You know, he commanded brigades, was it? I think that's the highest he got to, wasn't it? Brigade command, but he led that with skill. So Alex says, following Chamberlain, they went in with 368 men and 358 guns. I thought you meant artillery for a sec then, Alex. I was going, bloody hell. David says, replying to Alex, a human who made mistakes and was a soldier under orders. A bit more nuanced. History isn't tidy. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I wouldn't mind learning a bit more about. It has a similar vibe of... Oh, actually, no. I was about to say sort of like British and the Zulu Wars, where you had like multiple columns going into the country and then getting attacked. But I feel like Little Big... I'm probably wrong here, but I feel like Little Bighorn, he attacked prematurely when he maybe should have waited for more troops, but then I don't know enough about it. Um, Alex is saying it wasn't 368 and 358 guns. It was 386 men and 358 guns. Fair enough. That was again probably the other main regiment that was put under sort of not arrest, but you know, they went and served with the 20th Maine just ahead of the battle. Thomas says, get a mini fridge, Matt. I keep one in the hobby room with some Coke and Fanta in and bottles of water for the water pot. Very good idea, mate. I will do it. I will. I just I've not actually, I should be keeping an eye out on places like Facebook Marketplace or something for a cheap one to come up. And put one in up here. Grim says, good, been playing loads of Dwarf Fortress. I've seen a lot about Dwarf Fortress actually. I've played a game which is similar called Songs of Six, which I think is fairly similar to Dwarf Fortress. Sort of like what's it called? Like a city builder, isn't it? Type thing. I can't think. Simulation, city sim. I don't know how you categorize it. David said Custer had done something similar before, so it was winnable. Yeah, okay. Do you reckon maybe it's just people tarnish Custer a bit just so they don't give credit to the Native Americans? Do you reckon? Do you reckon that's where maybe some of it first came from? What, not wanting to admit that the Native Americans did something pretty impressive? I'm not saying it is, I'm just throwing that out there. I wonder. Yeah, rather than writing in the newspapers that the Native Americans are doing, you know, they can actually harm the US, they'll just pin it on incompetence of a leader, even though he wasn't. It's my conspiracy theory about it. So Alex says, David, I have a PhD in military history and well studied his actions while at, as well as the American Civil War, whilst at Army College. So, well, he was a human and made a lot of mistakes. I feel like Benteen and Reno failed Custer. Yeah, so there was one of them. I don't know who it was, but they were sort of, they heard the guns going off, but just sort of didn't react, didn't sort of go in support. I don't know if it was Benteen. Because Reno, is Reno the one that sort of got caught across the river? Is that Reno? They got sort of stuck. But the idea is, well, should Custer have waited for Reno and Benteen to be in a better supporting position? I don't know. Don't know enough about it. And again, you say how Custer's done something like this that before in the past and done well, then yeah, maybe that does sort of add an element of not arrogance, but he knows he can sort of probably achieve it, which maybe may swayed his decision to possibly push when he should have waited for more reinforcements. I don't know. It's interesting. Another what if. I am going to paint up a Custer for the American Civil War at some point. Oh, I should have shared it in the Facebook group, but I didn't. I've noticed during this past week that there's been a few of the Perry Miniatures Salute model available on eBay. The cavalry officer. So I feel like a few people in the stream previously have said they wanted to get a hold of one. Might be your time. I haven't checked in the last few days whether they're still there, but surprised no one sort of sculpted something similar, 3D wise, and just made it available. I don't know what the rules are around sort of copying sculpts, Obviously, there's a moral side to it. Although you could argue the Perry Miniatures one isn't in circulation, is it? It's not being made currently, so to copy something that's out of print is less morally bad. So yeah, David says Custer was a rising star in American Civil War. Yeah, he was. Grim says in the end, Custer failed. Custer with his arrogance. Yeah, again, it's hard to. Yeah. I guess you could boil it down to arrogance, but again, if he was confident in himself, I think confidence is important when it comes to being in a position like his. But yeah. I guess to really understand the failings, you've got to understand maybe what could have been done. Tom says, yeah, Custer did fail. Pity so many good men had to pay for it. Yeah. Alex says, took a look at Custer at Appomattox. Seems to have been quite a hothead. Same issue as fighting natives later on. Yeah, I mean, cavalry commanders, aren't they? So I feel it's a trait within that to sort of be aggressive. Just unfortunately, His luck ran out. Dave says one Custer's mistake was picking Reno for the advanced guard. He went with seniority over suitability. Thomas said, I got my Perry sculpt 20 quid at a car boot. Very nice. That's about what I'm seeing him go for, to be honest, mate. So you got a good deal. You got a bit of a deal. Fair play for finding that at a car boot as well. I've done quite a few car boots in the past year. Not year, but a few months. And the best I found was someone selling off a Warhammer 40k Orc army. But, yeah, that was it. I didn't come across anything else, really. So, yeah, it's quite a find. Alright, musket's done. Oh, we got there. Let's have another swig. Tim says, my local hardware store sells bottled Coke in big packs. I load my mini fridge with it. I don't know if I'd want... I don't know. I could just get loads of cans and fill it up. Maybe when I win the lottery, a mini fridge is something I purchase. I don't know. I need to look. I'm gonna look out on Facebook Marketplace and see if something comes up. So again, I don't really want to. I'm guessing you're gonna have to spend at least £100 or £200 for sort of a nice mini fridge. I don't know if I want to spend that. Although it'd be lush to have it up here. Thomas says, I think the people opposed the popularity of Custer, and he had mentioned entering politics, so I feel like the opponents used it to tarnish his reputation. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, is they've thrown him under the bus, really, for political means. Reno ordered his men to dismount, and then straight away ordered a remount, so his men were caught between orders, and Reno was confused. Benteen was ordered to Custer, but went to Reno instead. Yeah, sounds a bit all over the place. David says, partly that, Matt, and to cast shade on the whole war as an unjust war with modern values, judging historical situations, never a good idea. No, it's an impossible task to... well, yeah, it's foolish to judge historical actions with modern sort of mentality, because it was different. But David, sounds like you'll have to watch the pod, Matt. It's on YouTube. I will do, mate. I will do. I'm gonna have to try making out of it, because when I drive into work, I quite often put a podcast on. I'll have to chuck it on tomorrow morning. Mark, sorry, not on topic, but how was the balloon festival the other day? I did not go, but I saw it. It was this weekend. I think it started maybe around Thursday. But yeah, sorry, I've just read Thomas's comment. I'll get back to that. Yeah, I didn't actually go to a balloon festival, but we've seen a lot of balloons. One of them sort of crash landed in my daughter's school on Friday, I think. So they all went down there and went and had a look. So no one was hurt. It wasn't a bad crash landing. It was just there's a football pitch next to it, and they were trying to aim for that because they just could not get lift, and ended up in the school car park. But yeah, apart from that, no, it's been good weather. Or they didn't launch tonight, I don't think, because it's been a bit windy. Custer's orders. So David says Custer's orders were not to let the village scatter, which is probably quite a tough task with only a handful of people. Thomas says, yeah, I meant my mini fridge for £20. I was going to say, finding a Perry Miniatures 2011 Salute, or whatever it was, at a car boot's an absolute plug. But yeah, mini fridge at a car boot. Honestly, I've done quite a few car boots. There's a big one near me, Cheddar car boot. I've done that a few times, but I can't say I've seen anything like that. But maybe I just need to keep going. I was meant to go this morning to a car boot and I forgot about it. Alex, well, as Longstreet saw it, there was no aggressiveness, but I mean, Custer simply galloped into rebel camp to demand surrender. Luck for him, he met Longstreet and not one of the other guys. And Longstreet handled him like a mangy pup. Benjamin Jones, balloons for days, mate. How are you, Ben? Hex. Sorry, Hex to Hex. Hello, welcome in. I just, I read that as if it was Alex rattling on. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Welcome in. And Ben, welcome in. Hope you're good, mate. Hope your shoulder's behaving. I've got a bit of a headache at the moment, but. I was in line with having a Dr. Pepper earlier, so now I'm wondering if I should not be drinking Dr. Peppers. Okay, right, let's talk models. I might just quickly paint a load of their patches in. Like a few of these guys have got patches on their knees. I should just put it underneath the camera. Patches on the knees. Tell you what, if I do something like that. Yeah, there. Yeah, so they've got patches under the knees. So let's paint them quickly. We'll do a few colours. Ben says, decent, bro. Been painting more secret project brackets. Don't tell Adam. Ooh, yeah. So Ben's got a secret project. It's safe to say the secret project is Lord of the Rings, though, isn't it, Ben? But Ben is painting some secret project for my other mate Adam, because they play quite a bit together. And that is not that. What colours do we go? I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get. Not Skeleton Horde. Where's my other colour? Snake Bite Leather. I think I'm going to do that for a few of the patches. It's not Middle-earth strategy battle game. Wow. What is it then? I don't think you guys play anything else. Exciting though. Oh, it's not Warhammer, is it then? That would not be ideal. Right. Yeah, this works. Do I be lazy and give everyone the same sort of coloured patch? It's a bit lazy, isn't it? I'm disappointed in myself. Still Games Workshop though. I'm worried it's Warhammer 40k, if I'm honest, Ben. I'm really worried about it. Right. Should I chuck a colourful patch on there? Or a knee patch? What do people reckon? I'm not sure. Any patches here? There's a patch there. Any patches here? No. Any patches here? Yes. Right, let's push them all back there. Right. Dave says, in general, though, the Battle at Gettysburg podcast is always a damn good listen. I'm going to check it out. Thank you. Benjamin Jones says, can't confirm it is 40k then. That is sad. That is very sad. Nah, it's fine. You'll have a good time, I'm sure. Do it, says Tim. Right, we're going to go for a darker brown. Garagax Sewer, because why not? What colour do you think we should go for, Tim, then? I could do an Agaros Dunes, which would be a sort of a yellow. That's a good one. We're going to do this one brown as well, and then we got one. A dark red, says Tim. Ooh. David said dysentery was rife. Give him a stain. I will, but I'll also name him David. So it's up to you. Painted on stains for historical accuracy. Lol. Yeah. Tim wants a dark red. I can do a red, bit like their shirts, because that's all I got. But yes, I will do that, Tim. We'll do it now. Thomas says, anyone have any tips for painting German camo? Been 2 to 3 years since I last done a German camo or even bolt action minis. Are you on about sort of the P dot camo? Because I know maybe not a P dot camo. I found a really good contrast paint one, which I used for my 15mm and really liked it. I'm now trying to think where that was. It might have been Sonic Sledgehammer. It might have been on his page, and he did a P dot camo, and I think, from memory, I don't know, but I think he might have done a skeleton horde as a base on there, and then did like a green and a brown for patches of that. Might be able to find my 15 now. Might be able to show you. Although this might just be my Americans. So my Americans here. Got some airborne. And then some regular army. Yeah, so it's not P dot camo. It's let's get these out and I'll show you. So something like that. I don't know if this is. I don't know if it's clear enough there. So yeah, I went for like maybe a skeleton horde. I don't know what it was now, but then I did like a brown and a green and just did patches. Let me. It's not really showing up on the camera, is it? But yeah, I really like that, doing that. So yeah. Maybe that was helpful, Thomas. Give it a search up. Jaeger Splinter camo. I've no idea if that's what that is. It might be. Oh no, this isn't Jaeger, is it? Yeah, good question. I don't know. So, this is my chain of command army, 15mm, because it's all based up the chain of command. Cool. All right, let's get back to it. That is a Wehrmacht Splinter camo, just a different color of the camo you painted. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, check out Sonic. I'm not sure. Sonic said, I can't remember what he did, but right. I'm thinking of doing a maybe a couple of. Let's go for snakebite leather, because what I'm going to do is add some checkers to some of these shirts maybe and just see how it looks. If I can now find the colour I was just using 2 seconds ago. Sonic Sledgehammer's videos are always useful. Yeah, they're great. That should read just a different colour of the camo I will be doing. Well, if it's the same pattern or something, though, you might find it useful. Like the same sort of... The idea is the same, you know. Is this going to be a good enough brush? Doesn't look it. Maybe this? Nope. Thomas, so Alex says, Thomas, try vehicle 3, tone 43 and replace dark yellow with some kind of beige. Yeah, try that. I don't know. That ain't my jam. I'm not really sure. Right, let's try have a rough time doing checkers, shall we? I'm going to go with a... this is Snakebite leather from Citadel. It's only a little bit darker than what's on there currently. And I'm hoping that will just add a slight... Just a slight pattern to it. It doesn't need to be a heavy check, you know? Just something. I'm going to have to get used to painting some tartan soon, so it's good practice. When I ordered some flags of war last, they have a free PDF painting tartan, so I got that. So we'll have to give it a go. Right, this isn't looking great. Let's try it. Might have just gone a bit too heavy with the check, to be honest. I don't know. When everything else is on there, it might look fine. I'm not so sure. I'm happy with the colour. Just don't know if it... You can see that. Working on him. Yeah, we'll see. Question from David. Found on almost every battlefield, but never seen one as scatter terrain. Why do latrines on why no latrines on wargaming tables? I'm gonna have to stop you in your tracks there, David. I have a latrine, and I'm pretty sure it has played a role in one of my war games. But yeah, good question. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got... I think one of my old Sharps practice game, I made a little wooden outhouse. Pretty sure it's featured. So I'm making the effort, David, is what I'm trying to say. Not other content creators out there. Shame in it. There we go. Checkered shirt man done. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. There he is. I think once I've done the bag and stuff, or the belt at least, it might break that up slightly. Oh, I really like that. I have another shirt that I'm going to. What shirt patterns do you think we should do? Someone throw some ideas out there. I don't want to do another checked one. Maybe I could, but I'd rather not. But then what? Maybe I do a white shirt with a red check on it. Is that an idea? Tom says I have an outhouse in my dead man's hand terrain. If that counts, it does absolutely, Thomas. As long as you use it. Thomas says tartan. You say, Matt. 79th New York next? Question mark. They are sitting next to me, primed. Partly primed, actually. I ran out of primer halfway through. But yes. And I have them in kilts, not trews. Purely because that's what Battlecat show. So, and kilts are cool. I know we've had this discussion previously on whether they wore kilts at First Manassas or not. But I think they look fantastic. So yes, it will be the 79th. Alex asked David, just worked on this for my union camp today. My problem at the moment is I don't know where to put it. Facing the enemy or behind the NCO tents. I feel like it would be away from the camp, right? You don't want smelly toilets near the camps. David said, outhouses okay, but imagine the number of latrines at Leipzig. 3 days, 1 million humans. Would they even use latrines, or would they just find a bush or a river? Just think about it. Yeah, that's just rows of toilets. Tim, that is outstanding, Matthew. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alex, shirts with flowers decor in the front and around the neck seem to have been quite common. I don't know if I've got the skill though. Checkered shirt man, he's a lumberjack and he don't care. He sleeps all night and works all day. Absolutely, David. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Tim says, don't forget the dunny at Rorke's Drift, possibly the most famous. Thomas, they wore trews in action but kilts when they left the state, but their pipers did wear kilts. I don't think I have a piper. So I wonder if I could pinch a Napoleonic Highlander. No. I wouldn't be able to. Ooh, that's a puzzler then. I might have a piper. I'll have to check. I don't think I do have a piper. But yeah, kilts are cool. So they're wearing kilts. Should we try flowers then, shall we? Or do you reckon, like, maybe 5 dots? What's everyone thinking? You can hide an outhouse in Dead Man's Hands. Have done it for... you can hide in an outhouse, sorry. Have done it before a few times and jumped out and shot someone. Brilliant. Right, what colour are we doing the flowers then? Red? Oh, this could be a... This could ruin it. Might have been a bit too big as well. Hmm. At this point, it's basically a Hawaiian shirt. So I've done red dots in like a pattern of 5, and then just a little bit of green. Go like the Yorkshire Gamer and do a football shirt. Oh, could do. Right, and then I'm sure it will look fine. I'm sure it will look fine. If not, he'll be relegated to the back rank. Okay. It's something, that's for sure. Right, I might just use... Do I have a green? Do I have a green? I want a bright green, really. What's this? Olive drab? Absolutely not. No. I'm going to use an old Citadel paint now. There's no saying. Try adding sweat patches to some. Have a few Dead Man Hand cowboys with some sweat marks on there. Or underarms and chest. Very good idea. What did you use for that then? Just like a gnome. Oh, this paint's dead. It's a shame. Maybe I'll put an agitator in it. Hmm. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not that one. Where have I put my paints? Tricky one. What's this? That is a olive drab. No. All right. I think I've got a green in one of these. In fact, I do have a green. I have a perfect green. It's what I've been using for my Napoleonic French. There we go. There we go. Carolina blue and white are the colours of the University of North Carolina football team. Will I go for like a blue striped on one of the white shirts then? Is that what you're saying? This might actually be the wrong green I'm using now. We'll use it. The idea is there. It's something different. I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. I don't hate it. There you go, everyone. One flowery looking t-shirt or shirt, shall I say. So he's ready to take on the Army of the Potomac. He's ready to dance with the Iron Brigade. So Carolina blue is a light blue. Carolina Panthers use it. Going back to the sweat patches, Thomas says just a darker shade of the colour I use for the shirt with some Nuln oil kindly borrowed from a friend. Okay, we can play with it. We can definitely have an idea with it. So, blue stripes. Should we go for this chap? Do you reckon the blue he's wearing on his trousers would work for the blue you're on about there, David? What do you reckon? What's your thoughts? I'll just do stripes, I think. And then, yeah, we probably need to do some black bits next. And then metallics. Oh, we might have another light blue. I'm not sure what other blues we've got. Tidal wave. Yeah, we got... These are the two blues I currently have on the desk. Or we got something like that. Talisar blue. Might be some more blues. Looks about right. Okay, we'll go with Caribbean Ocean then, sure. And I'll just do stripes, shall I? I mean, generic football looking thing. It's going to stand out from any other unit I've done. All right. It is very light, but he does have it. It's not really focusing on him anyway. There you go. That's something. I like that. The more I look at the checkered guy now. Need to leave now. Thanks. Have fun. Cheers for popping by, Alex. I appreciate it, mate. Well, I had a quick look at some of your photos you dropped earlier on Facebook, and they look awesome, mate. So we'll check them out in a bit. Right. Next thing we're gonna have to do is probably black trim stuff, which we will use Black Legion from Citadel. There you go. That's what we're using. Black Legion. Let's have a tidy up a sec. Get that out of the way. Currently fixing some cuffs on German arms from a freebie sprue of Germans that I got from a large haul of basing bits from Warlord. Oh, nice. What Germans? World War II Germans, Thomas? David says, if you want to go totally anachronistic, the Panthers' greatest player was Luke Cucci. He wore a 59 on a replica shirt would be hilarious. Do you reckon? Tell you what I'll do. I'll write 59 on his cartridge box. Is he wearing one, actually? He is. I'll put 59 on his cartridge box. And then we'll know. And then anyone else seeing that might be like, oh, he transferred from the 59. Yes. But we'll know. Although his cartridge box is quite small compared to the Perry miniature ones. I'm not sure I'm going to have the skills to write 59. Although I've got a white pen somewhere I might be able to write on it with. Keekly, thank you very much, David. World War II, Winter Germans changing the greatcoat cuffs to be infantry cuffs. Oh, nice. Very nice. Why were they not? Are they the winter sprue they've sent you? Is that not infantry then? Is it like what are they? The last time I used a hobby knife, I cut my finger and severed the nerve. 7 stitches later, I have limited feeling in that one finger. Thomas, don't do it again. That's your answer. I don't use them much, to be honest. Probably a fear of slicing my finger open, so. No, if I am ever doing stuff like shaving sprues down or something, I just use a little file. It tends to do the trick for me. God, we're making progress tonight, I feel. Flowery shirt guy looks great now. The more I look at it. Well, I'll do probably another 10 minutes and we'll check out what everyone's been posting. Wonderful. And Thomas, I was talking to a few from the group, and we are maybe going to put on a World War II bolt action campaign with each person commanding a platoon, so it winds up being about company size engagement. Very nice. That should be very good. So I might like, I really like anything Band of Brothers and Easy Company, and when you actually try to translate that onto the tabletop, it's a nice size. You know, if you ever looked at some of their engagements, like, um, I guess Braycourt Manor, you could. There's a couple of squads in there, but something like the Attack on Foy. That's a nice size game, I think. All right. Tim says, Thomas, you jinxed me. I was cutting my ultra with my ultrasonic blade, and as Matt read your nerve injury, I burnt my finger trying to balance the blade. Sorry, Tim. At least I didn't want my father and brother have. Sorry, Thomas says, sorry, Tim. At least I didn't do what my father and brother have done and cut the top part of the finger off. What? It's horrible, isn't it? Nasty injury. Let's paint that. We'll do all their cartridge boxes and then come back for the hats. Let's do these hats. I think we're going to do Carentan as it was German Fallschirmjäger versus the 101st Airborne. Carentan would be a good one, yeah? Nice. That'd be a really good one, actually. Have you got all the terrain ready to go, or is that something you're going to have to do? Tell you what, these ragged red sculpts, there's some fantastic beards there. Okay. Little Wars TV did for you. Yeah, they did do for you. It wasn't one of my favourite war games of theirs, if I'm honest, but yeah, they did. It's sort of why I want to collect some winter paratroopers at some point. Like I was talking about earlier. The Battle of Foy is just, I think, or the fight for Foy, I think, is just cool. It'd be fun to do a few games of. And it. Tom says spears running across the town and back while under fire just makes Foy so damn epic. Yeah, especially when relieving Dyke sort of mid assault and then spears taking over. Absolutely. Tell you what, I think these chaps in the grey here, they just look quite smart. And one American definitely needs stains on his trousers for Foy. Yeah, 100%. It's interesting because you like again looking into Dyke, Norman Dyke. He was like he got a distinguished service medal, didn't he, or something like that, earlier in the war. So I think they in Band of Brothers they make him out like a bit of a moron, but arguably he wasn't. I mean, he probably, by the sounds of it, he was by the time he got to Easy Company, but he must have done something right to get that sort of recognition. I can't remember. It might not have been distinguished service. It was something. He got something, unless he just managed to fudge it. Yeah, Grim says, yeah, don't trust Brand of Brothers. Yeah, I've got Webster's writings on Audible that I've started listening to, which is quite interesting. But the only shame with them is Webster wasn't at Toccoa. He wasn't with Easy Company when they were trained. He sort of joined, I don't know, I guess, before the landings. So yeah, you get to miss out on all that side of it, which I found really interesting. But Malarkey, my brother recommends Malarkey's writings as well. Apparently that's really interesting, but not something I've got around to yet. Thomas says, I think it was the stress of combat that got to him by the time he got to Bastogne. Yeah, I think so. Grim says, Stephen Ambrose is well-known liar and a plagiarist. Yeah. Well, we've got writings from the chaps actually there, so we kind of take their word for it, I guess. Rather than Banner Brothers. But we can still enjoy Banner Brothers, which I do. Right. That's it. That's the black done. The next step now is sort of, I think it's just a matter of doing the, I'll tell you what I might do actually. I've got a few minutes. I might make a start on this drum. So I always leave the drum to the very end, and then it's like, well, it'll fall just before the end of a stream or something like that. And it's like, well, I don't want to then spend another stream just painting a drum. So let's actually work towards this. I don't know what colour we're going to do the drum. Anyone got a preference on what colour we do the drum itself? Sort of. Just paint the actual fabric. Not fabric, you know, the skin of the drum. Paint that. Yeah, so we've taken longer than I thought we would on these guys, but I said that last stream we didn't do a lot. But I think by next stream it's a matter of doing the metallics, the hair, the canteen straps, and then we're sort of there. So. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with this checkered shirt guy. I wasn't at first, but I sort of like it now. Oh, where am I? There we go. So, there we go. I haven't done any sergeant stripes on anyone yet. Maybe that's something we do in a minute, in a bit. Let me... Should I Google 26th North Carolina drum? See what, maybe there's something out there. We might have a... It's a yellow drum with a red rim. Should we do that? Might do that. Yeah, why not actually? Let's do that. Let's do... I'm going to use... what did I use? That's Snakebite. I might do Snakebite. Oh, that's not actually, is it? What one is that? No, it is Snakebite. Let's go Snakebite leather for the drum itself, unless anyone's got any objections. I think they're good. Got to be careful not to hit the white cording on the drum, just because then I don't have to go back in and repaint that. Be nice not to do, you know. But I think I've already messed it up. What's your opinion on the military talents of Lieutenant the Honourable George Coulter St. Barley? And would you be confident being led into battle by him? Who is that, David? Who is that? I don't know. Drummer is getting it. Nazdrag Yellow is another good choice for drums. Yeah, I just thought that actually. I've got a bright yellow I could have used. Ah, well. It's because the one I've seen online just then was kind of weathered and dark. Right. That's what we've done. We're done. Oh, P.S. Hugh Laurie's character in Blackadder 4. I would 100% follow Hugh Laurie's character. Right, let me get this set up a minute. We're going to go check out the community stuff, and then we're sort of done. Dun, 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 dun. Community. All right. Let's scroll down then. Where were we? No, no. Okay. Thomas says, I'd rather have Private Baldric lead me into battle and Captain Edmund Blackadder to lead me in a cunning as a cunning fox who teaches cunning at Oxford plan to run away. Yeah, I mean Blackadder's probably, I would say he's the one to get you out of it, but I mean he didn't in the end. Right, let's do this. Schlunk. There's not a lot on the community stuff, but again, Alex posted a fair few bits, which is quite cool. So we'll check that out. Right, this was me yesterday. I went over to my mate's house and played Catan, which is, I'm sure we've all heard of it or played it, but really good fun. We played the Seafarers one for the first time, which I've not done before, and you basically kind of have boats which work like roads, I think. I don't know if we were playing it right, but it was fun. My wife won. She played us all. David said, "Is that a no on George?" It is, I'm afraid. Yeah. Although I don't know, he's plucky and funny. To the book, I'd say, wouldn't he? So maybe he would get us killed. Yeah, my wife won fair and square. It got really tense because the game went on quite long. So you just knew. Oh, sorry. You just knew any moment someone was about to be like, "Yep, I win." I think I was on 9 victory points. I think you needed 10 to win. So I was, but I couldn't really push myself over the line. So yeah, that was good fun. I do like Catan. I played a lot of it at Christmas with my siblings. So check this one out. This is John. Ooh. Let me see if he's written anything. Warlord Epic Hessians, American Revolution Command Stand. Look at that. That is stunning, isn't it? That is, I really like what he's done here. That's really cool. Fair play, John. Fair play. Very nice. Trees are a nice little bit as well. That's the cool thing, I think, with smaller scale is, yeah, you could do a bit more of a command base. Like I'm struggling to... I mean, you've already seen my command bases, but for example, I'm working on Lee at the moment. You can't see that, but I'm working on Lee at the moment. And yeah, really, I've got 3 models on there. And that's my army command, which is a bit sad. It'd be cool to have something impressive like that. Like that thing there. John's stuff. That's awesome. Really nice paintwork as well. Just the reds and the yellows. That looks great. Fair one. Very nice. And the flag, actually. That's a nice flag. Is that hand painted? Or is that a... Is that a paper one and then he's painted... Looks like he's painted a gold trim to it. Very nice. David says, Catan always reminds me of Sheldon asking, have you got any wood? I need it for my sheep. Yeah, it's a bit of that. It's a bit of that. Tim says cutthroat Catan. When you play more players and players make allies and work against other players. Yeah, we were pretty tame, to be honest. There wasn't much backstabbing going on. We're all a bit friendly. Tim says for apologies, I'm yawning again. Tim says for 15 mil, that's outstanding. It is very nice, isn't it? Even look at that face. Let's zoom in on this guy's face. Look at that. Even the details there. Well, all of them, really. But yeah, I like these guys in the background. They look awesome. Nice one, John. Very good. That's my ugly mug. We don't see that. Flags. Yeah, so I ordered some Flags of War flags. I took the plunge. So I probably just foolishly, I need Strong Vincent's flag, which is from the 5th Corps. And then in my head, I'm like, well, actually, why don't I do a few more brigades from 5th Corps and just use a few more flags? For example, 2 brigades went to Little Brown Top from memory. So, you know, I could do... Oh, hang on. Give me a second. Oh, it was Sykes. Yeah. Yeah, so 1st Division went to Little Round Top, part of 1st Division. So I was for a second I thought it was Hancock's. Oh yeah, I just realised you're watching my screen. I thought it was Hancock's for a second, but it's not. It's Hancock's 2nd Corps. But yeah, so I've ordered 5th Corps. I was like, do you know what? I'll just do a few. Maybe do a division, like so maybe 1st Division command and a couple of. So if I'm going to do that, then it's more value of getting the bigger sheet. And then we have the 11th Corps, obviously for the first day of Gettysburg. I really want to do the 1st Corps 2nd Division purely because I really like the look of the flags, and then I'll do a division from 5th Corps. Again, I don't need to do the infantry necessarily, but I'll just do the command bases because they look great, and just try use them as much as I can. Paddy O'Rourke and the 140th New York. They were 140 New York was 5th Corps, weren't they? Round Top. Were they in Strong Vincent's? I can't remember Strong Vincent's brigade now. Was it the 88th Pennsylvania? Did they have the 140th New York? Thomas says, I've never played Catan. I just force people to play Monopoly and Risk at Christmas. Now I'm trying to get people to play tabletop games with me at Christmas. I'm really tempted to do the new Zulu Rorke's Drift box setup and get my brother to play it with me. Because I think for Zulu, he'll play it. He's a big Zulu fan. David said, yes, plus backstabbing the wife. Backstabbing the wife, rarely a good plan. Yeah, but I mean, she won fair and square. No one helped her to win. She did it. She did it fair and square and did very good. Thomas is saying, yeah, the 140th New York was 2nd Division, 5th Corps. So not in Vincent's brigade, but done the exact same thing as the 20th Maine. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, so because these flags just look awesome. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna try use more of them. So we'll see where it leads us. Obviously at the moment, I think I've got no plans on doing more infantry at this point, unless I just want to be a bit mad. So yeah, but I can do command bases up. That's fine. I'll do. Like I said, I'm going to do 2nd Division of 1st Corps. I'm going to look at them historically and just see actually what they got up to. If they didn't really have an input, then maybe not. But I just really like the look of the blue flags. I think they look great. But yeah, and obviously 11th Corps I want to do for first day anyway. So, and then I just got some generic flags, which I think is similar to what the 26th North Carolina carried. So I got some flags from the North Carolina. There we go. Thomas says finishing the cavalry for Buford with some dismounted cavalry. Very nice. Yeah, that's obviously my next thing I want to do is Buford's cavalry and that, but it's something I can work on. Might as well like that. And then Thomas has shared some of his work. Let's check it out. Here's a mounted and dismounted trooper. Very nice. Gone for the yellow necktie. Very good. And then we have another chap. Is it Sam Elliott? Sam Elliott lookalike. Could be Buford. Is this your Buford, or is this your part of your this is your 7th cav? Because this could be Buford, could it? From Sam Elliott Buford, that is not historical Buford. But it's just the moustache, if I'm honest. That big slug of a moustache just looks like it. Very good though. Chat wielding carbine, very nice. David said every single regiment at Gettysburg, you know you want to. I could be tempted. If, in all honesty, if I had an excuse to, I would happily do a couple more divisions of infantry and just, for Gettysburg's sake. If I was guaranteed to get a few games in, but at the moment I'm not really, so I'm hesitant. But until I get my collection out on the table, it's hard to know what I've got. And yeah, because I'm pretty sure infantry wise, I'm more than happy with what I've got. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, I'm still finishing off my first corps, first division, because I've not got all the models for that. So I mean, I've got probably another brigade of them to do before I really run out of. Is that everything? Yeah, there we go. Ruskies, is it? Are they Russians? They got to be Russians. They're in green. Very nice though. I like it. Very nice one, Thomas. Here we go. In fact, it's all written down here. So decent. Some recent Dead Man's Hand cavalry troops, 2 NCOs, and a trooper, plus my. Oh, I don't want to. Pobransky. Lifeguard standards. Most proud of the NCO in the brown campaign hat. Just so main character in 1 mini and a total no because he won me the game on Friday. This guy. He won it for you. Not Sam Elliott, but that guy. Very good. Nice one, Thomas. Russian Lifeguard. Thank you, Thomas. I didn't want to pronounce it. I tried. So yeah, Thomas is saying, yeah, based on Sam Elliott, Dead Man's Hand Cavalry. Cool. Mark confirms it is in fact a Sam Elliott lookalike. Thomas said I'd like to do first corps, first division. Oh, sorry, first division from each of the corps at Antietam. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. It's if you're going to be using the miniatures, like why not? David said again, John Buford, Sam Elliott, not remotely similar looking. Yeah, I know. I prefer the Sam Elliott Buford, if I'm honest. Right, let's go check this out. General Michael Poker's posted this last stream. I remember it, so we know where we are. Yeah, so Alex has posted a large. Can I, just have a bigger image, please? There you go, some Studio Storia stuff. Very cool. I need to print off. Matt, you do know we do people that you can't pronounce on purpose. It's not hard. I can't pronounce a lot of things, so fair enough. Thomas says, no, Sam Elliott wasn't painted on Friday, just worked on him while on the night shift. Sam Elliott looks great, Thomas. Well done. So Alex's artillery caissons and stuff, they look cool, actually. The Limbers look great. I need to pull my finger out and print more Studio Historia. Do you know what it is? I'm not massively sold on the infantry. I'm saying it, not massively sold on them. Like, I know I've printed them and I've painted them and I'm happy. I did actually. Do you know what? I did enjoy painting them, actually, and I am happy with them. And technically, I can print as many as I want because I got the files, but then you got the likes of, like, Battle Cat. I bought a couple of regiments of Battle Cat. I thought they looked really cool. So here goes some Reb Cavalry. Very nice. Loads of them. But I know Alex likes to do large things. Totally, Thomas says, totally not why I included it, just to see how Matt tries to say it. So we'll draw out the lifeguards over the next few weeks to make Matt struggle. I will... I was going to say I'll remember it, but I won't. I'll forget. By next weekend, I'll forget how to pronounce it. But yeah, some nice cavalry, Reb Cavalry. Here's some Union. Right shoulder shift. Very nice. So, the mass ranks, aren't they? I must be liking this. Yeah, I am. Mass ranks. Very nice. And here's some staff officers. Or staff, should I say. Can we open a new? Because then I can just do this. Oh, it's already saved it. So we have their Studio Historia models, because I'm pretty sure that's their Jackson. Some Perry's dismantled cavalry. Some more chaps back here. That's a Perry's plastic from the box set. Not sure. I'm not sure about him. That's got to be. I don't know who that is. Yeah, nice. Very nice. And what else have we got? That's it, I think. Very good. Some real nice stuff from Alex. So yeah, well, that's it. I'm going to end the stream there, I think, because we're done. Everyone's shared some great stuff, which is awesome. We've made progress. I'm actually, yeah, looking forward to getting these guys done. I do have a couple of regiments that need basing up as well, so I could do these all at the same time. But yeah, one more stream of this I reckon. And then I'll be putting a vote out to see what we want to do next. I think the choices are probably going to be some infantry or headquarter units. Or maybe some cavalry. We could try look at doing Russia's Lancers. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream there. I appreciate everyone popping by. I will read out everyone who's popped by a sec. But for now, massive appreciation to everyone watching this live, as always. Everyone watching this back on YouTube as well after it's been live, thank you so much. Massive thanks to Rebellion Miniatures as well. I should be saying that more because they have sent them to me. I really appreciate it. They're awesome. They're a great company. Also, massive thanks to channel supporters Mark and Thomas, as always. Any other thanks? No. So we'll get into. I'm going to have to go back through chat because we've actually had quite a few people this time, which is cool. So, starting from the start. Thank you very much, David, for popping by. Thomas, thank you very much. Blake, thank you very much. Alex, thank you very much. Tim, thank you very much. I'm going to then jump to Mark because I know Mark was about. Thank you very much. I've already said David. Grim, thank you for coming by, mate. We had... Who else did we have? We had Hex to Hex. Yeah, Hex to Hex. Ben as well. Thank you, Ben, for coming by. Ooh, that might be it, actually. I don't want to miss anyone. Please tell me if I have, but I think that's it. So yeah, massive thanks to everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Stopping by, keeping me company whilst I slowly paint through the grey mountain of minis. Or white technically, because they're primed white. So yeah, massive thanks everybody. I'll catch you next time on the stream. This time next Sunday. CV, David, CV, and have a wonderful week going forward and weekend, and I'll see you, and have a wonderful end of your Sunday. And I'll see you next time. Night night.